Hello students, welcome to Easy Elimu Learning Simplified. My name is Mr. Stanley Ombogo. So as usual, dear students, I believe that you're doing great wherever you're joining us from. And in this session, I'd like to take you through a topic that is very easy, very easy and interesting as well. And this is how to write a dialogue. So in our session, first of all, we are going to start by looking at what a dialogue is. That is our understanding on the meaning of a dialogue. Then from that, we will proceed, that is by looking at some of the important steps or features to note when writing your dialogue. Then again, just to corroborate some of the features that we are going to mention and discuss, there is a sample of a dialogue that I have that we are going to read together to see if at all, it is effective or not. So to begin with, dear students, a dialogue is a conversation between two or more people over an issue. So when we say that it is a conversation between two or more people, it means that a dialogue can, can consist of two people, three, four, and even more. So we cannot have one person in a dialogue. If we have one person, talking to himself, then that is called a monologue, not a dialogue. So a monologue is when, someone is talking to himself or herself. So it is almost similar to a style that is called soliloquy. So soliloquy also involves, it also talks about when a speaker speaks to himself, either in a play. In most cases, it is a play, that is to reveal his or her thoughts to members of the audience. So monologue and soliloquy aside, let us deal with a dialogue. So just like I have said, it is a conversation between two or more people over an issue. So the people who take part in a dialogue, dear students, are called interlocutors. So when we have people, more than even two people taking place in a dialogue, then we refer to those participants as interlocutors. So take note of that. When writing a dialogue, take note of the following. So the first thing, or the first important thing to note, is that a dialogue is written in direct speech. So when we talk about direct speech, I know when I talk about direct speech, what comes into your mind is that this is a quoted speech, because it is true. That is what a direct speech is. It is quoting the speaker's exact words. But now, when writing a dialogue, the speech marks, or what we call the quotation marks, are not used, but all other punctuation marks are kept intact. So it is a form of a direct speech, but there is omission of the speech marks or the quotation marks, because what we have are the actual speakers saying their actual words. So there is no need to use the speech marks or the quotation marks. So the next thing, or the next step to note, is that the speaker's name is written on the left hand side of the book. So if you are having an exercise book with you, try open the pages of the book and try and locate the left hand side of your exercise book. That is depending on your posture. Okay, when I face the camera, then my left is of course different from your left. So you can use your exercise book to try and check or confirm that. So the next step is that a colon is placed immediately after the speaker's name. So if, for example, we have speaker A and speaker B, so if you want to, write what speaker A says, then you will write, the words immediately after the colon. So each time the speaker talks, his or her name is written on the left-hand side of the book, and his or her exact words are written, that is, down. So remember, the words are written immediately after the colon, but if the sentences are lengthy, then you will have to proceed to the lines that you have below. So this means that so when we look at this part again, the fact that each time the speaker talks, his or her name is written on the left-hand side of the book, means that we will have the name of the speakers, recurring. For example, if the name was written, if we had John, as our first speaker, then there is a respondent, then it means that when it is John's turn again, we will write his name once again. So it is not like when you write, the speaker's name once and it is for all. No, you will have to, you will have to keep on writing the speaker's name to indicate that the words, are written, are spoken or uttered by the speaker. So another thing is that contracted forms of words, for example, I'll instead of I will, are allowed. But again, this is not the case when writing imaginative compositions, or it is not the case in creative writing. Remember, in imaginative compositions, what is tested is the student's ability to, communicate and again punctuate sentences correctly, use words correctly the way they are supposed to be, and so on. So contracted forms of words are allowed in dialogues, but it is not the case when writing imaginative compositions. So the next thing is that explanations of moods or actions of the speakers are written in brackets and in italics. So these are called the stage directions. So they are there to guide the reader or about what is going on in these or in the conversation. So below is an example of a dialogue between a father and a daughter. So I'll first start. I'll have to play the two roles. That is the role of the daughter and the role of the father. So your work is to listen and to see if at all we have all the steps of the features mentioned earlier in this sample. So daughter, shortly having arrived from home, shortly having arrived home from school. Good afternoon, Daddy. Then the father replies, sitting complacently in the sofa, reading a newspaper, looking up. Good afternoon, resumes reading. Then the next daughter, holding out her school report form. Daddy, I am excited. My teacher said I was the best improved. I was. Then the father says, oh, you are? Me, I used to be number one. I was absolutely unbeatable. Then the daughter says, chemistry has been a particular headache. Now looking at the report form, which she thought her father would want to see. But this time, then the father says, as he stretches his arms, looking preoccupied, chemistry for me was particular easy. I never scored anything less than 90%. Then the daughter says, Dad, I was going to tell you that this time. Then again, the father interrupts. So the father says absent-mindedly, by the way, where's your mom? Then the daughter answers by saying, Mom is in the garden picking vegetables. But Dad, you are not listening to my story. I was telling you about chemistry. Then the father says, you mean you have a story about chemistry? Chemistry is not about stories. It is a hard science. Then the daughter says, it's about my improvement. Then father interrupts again, laughing. Me, it wasn't matter of improvement. I was always at the top of the class. Then the daughter responds by saying, Daddy, I give up. You are not listening. Then the father, looking surprised, listening, I heard you. You were talking about improvement in chemistry, weren't you? So, dear students, this is a sample of a dialogue between a father and a daughter. And as you can see, the father is an interruptive listener because he keeps on interrupting the daughter. So on to the last part, the daughter says, anyway, Dad, Thank you for paying attention. Enjoy your newspaper. Then the father concludes by saying, oh yes, I am reading an interesting story about politics. So we don't want to look at the shortcomings that we have in this dialogue, or the defects that we have in the conversation. What is important right now is being able to write a dialogue. So remember, dialogues normally have got defects and shortcomings. So that will be another lesson next time, dear students. That brings us to the end of this session. It has been an interesting one. Until next time, bye.